Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, John Carnage here, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. As you can tell by the title, this is my first PC build, my CyberPower PC, my former PC that I'm sure most of you know about if you're subbed to this channel, died, I think a little over a year ago now, maybe close to 2 years. I honestly can't remember when it died. It either died to a motherboard or power supply failure. I'm assuming it was a power supply failure because I upgraded the graphics card on that PC, and it worked okay for a while. I had some bottlenecks, but then it just stopped turning on one day. And if I had to guess, it was the power supply. But that's besides the point. I don't want this video being 30 minutes long, but if it ends up being 20 minutes long, I can do with that. This is a video I've been looking forward to making for a while, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be interested in this video, as my channel is a gaming computer channel to begin with. I just really miss having a computer. I have this shitty HP all-in-one right here. I think it's I don't remember what it is. I'll put the model on screen now. It's like a quad-core 1.8 gigahertz integrated graphics. Just a shitty, slow PC. I can barely watch YouTube on it without it giving me a green screen from the graphics being so bad. It's absolutely horrible. I used to be able to play Minecraft on it, but now it can't even handle Minecraft. It can barely handle fucking Agario. There's two parts over here that I'm going to talk about more once I get to them, but I'm going to go over these parts first. This is the Teamgroup Gx2 Grand 1TB solid state drive SSD. I have two hard drives over there. They're like 500 and 750 gigabyte, but I just went ahead and bought an SSD. It's 1TB. It'll last me a while. I didn't use those because there's viruses on them, because I used to do so many torrents and so many hacks that I didn't make videos on. Obviously I had to try a lot of them, and I've gotten a couple viruses that completely deleted everything on my system and fucked my hard drive. So I'm just not even going to touch those hard drives to be safe on a new system. Processor I went with is a Ryzen 5 3600 6-core 12-thread processor. It's just an all-around good processor. It should be able to edit and play games and really do everything I need it to do. I went with 16 gigabytes of DDR4. I think this is 3200. No, 3200 megahertz RAM. This is a cheap PWM fan controller that I got off of Amazon for about $10. It can hold, I think, 7 fans, and that's pretty much it. The brand is ID Cooling. Next are 5 Arctic 120 millimeter PWM fans. This is a Noctua NH-L9X65. This is a $50 CPU cooler on Amazon. It's the brown edition. I think the standard one, I think the black one is $60. This is a very popular motherboard. If you've ever built a PC or know anything about building PCs, you know that this is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, B450 board ever. But this is actually the max version, so it supports Ryzen 3rd Gen out of the box without any BIOS update. Getting on to the parts that I wanted to say a couple extra things about. This is the graphics card. I went with a 1650 Super. I paid $240 for this. It was $240 for a 1650 Super. It isn't the best deal, but it's also not the worst. It was in stock and new on Best Buy. I just went with it. This is the PNY XLR8 variant. Getting onto the power supply, this is a Corsair RM650x. This is the 2018 Black Edition. I looked at some EVGAs and Seasonics and all different types of power supplies, and I settled on this 650 watt power supply right here. I could have went with the 550, which is about $35 cheaper on Amazon, but I went with the 650 to make sure that the wattage is actually, you know, high enough, which really all I need is a 450 watt. But you know, it didn't hurt for me to go up 100 watts. It's a gold rated PSU, 80 plus gold. I've heard good things about the RM series. There's always going to be bad reviews on power supplies because there's always going to be some defective units, and it was just super tough for me because every power supply you look at, no matter how good the rating is, there's always going to be some that say don't buy this, buy that, and then you go to that one and it says don't buy that, buy this. You know, I just went with the overall rating. And on to the final piece of the puzzle here. If you've been on the channel, you know exactly what case this is. This is my CyberPower PC GUA 3400A case. it's a pretty damn tall mid-tower case. I don't know, this is like a full tower case, ATX. So I just stuck with the case. There's enough room for 2 exhausts right on the side, or I guess intake on the side panel there, acrylic panel. We're gonna be building in this case because I just saved a couple bucks, and you know, why not keep it? The only problem with this case is that when I ripped out all the old components in it, I ripped this out right here. This is the power LED for the front I/O panel, but I really don't think it matters that much, and I don't have a soldering kit to put it back together. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and clear everything off my desk, get the Xbox out of here, and get to building this PC. Hopefully I can get this done in about 2 hours. So at this point in the video, I had just finished assembling my PC for the first time. It had taken about 4 hours, and it was, you know, like 11 or 12 at night. And I had the camera up behind me so I could get the moment of truth shot, power on the PC. And so I lost that footage, to say the least. It was going to be a little bit of a dramatic scene to where it doesn't boot, and it just goes black and cuts to 3 weeks later. 23 days, so 3 weeks and 2 days later, I received my replacement motherboard in the mail, the B450 Tomahawk Max 2. So this was a little bit different, but that's neither here nor there. For the first week of the PC not booting, because I didn't know exactly what I did wrong, I double checked all my cables, everything like that. I knew it was either one or a combination of 3 things: the I/O cable for the power on the case, the power supply, or the motherboard. I tried to get a hold of one of my friends who used one of their PCs with their motherboard so I could completely go through and troubleshoot each one of my parts, my power supply, case, power cable, and motherboard. Long story short, I only got my hands on an old Dell computer and was able to troubleshoot the power cable on my PC, determined that it did work. I did a paperclip test on my power supply, determined that it did work. So I went ahead and sent my motherboard back to B&H Photo, which they did a great job on my RMA process, and I got my motherboard back in 10 days. Pretty much, I shipped it out on a Monday, and I got it back next Wednesday. So I begin assembling my PC for the second time, and I start with the motherboard and start putting in the CPU and CPU cooler, and I quickly run into an issue. That is, I left my Noctua mounting screws in the motherboard that I returned for exchange. So I didn't have the screws, and the ones that come on the stock retention plate on the motherboard are too short. They're probably like a quarter, or like a sixth or an eighth or a 3/16. I think they're a 3/16 inch, and the ones I need are like a 3/4 or 7/8. So I had to go to Lowe's, find some 6 32nd 1-inch screws. So if you need screws for a motherboard backplate, which I assume most of them are universal, 6 32nd is the size of the like the threads. And this is just the moment of fucking truth. If it doesn't work, I officially can't build a fucking computer. It's just the truth. I feel like I know what the fuck I'm doing, but evidently I don't if this doesn't boot. And as you just saw, I got the PC to boot. The issue I was having the second time around was I didn't plug in the 10 pin for the 24 pin. I only plugged in the 14 pin on the right and not the 10 for the back of the modular power supply. I checked back the footage for the first assembly I did, and I didn't make that same mistake. So I'm pretty sure it was the motherboard, as the package I had received was pretty banged up. And I had some indents on the motherboard box as well, but I'm glad B&H did a great job at replacing my motherboard. It's 2 days after I got the computer to boot, and it's the first day that I actually got Vegas to work. I had some issues trying to get Vegas to work. I was missing DLL files when I first installed it. Then it was giving me errors when I downloaded them from a third party. Then I reinstalled Windows, and then I ran some command prompts with like CFC, SFC, scan now to determine which DLL files I'm missing. And apparently I was missing more than I thought. And I ran another code in the command prompt, and then it fixed them or something, I don't know. And then I got Premiere downloaded because Vegas still wasn't working. And then after I had Premiere working for a couple hours, I said fuck Premiere, fuck Adobe Premiere. Then I tried Vegas again, and Vegas was working. So I'm very happy I got Vegas working here, as you can see. And I had a couple files that got corrupted, like me talking about the mounting brackets that I wanted to talk about, me forgetting the screws. I could re-record absolutely everything that I do record, because I feel like I can always record it better. But I'm recording this and I'm going with it. The PC is running fine. I got it up to 3200 megahertz in the XMP file. For my RAM speed, my CPU has peaked at about 69 degrees. My GPU's peaked at about 50, which is pretty damn good for a single fan GPU. I haven't done any stress testing yet. This video has been a process, and getting this PC has been a process. More than happy that I do have this PC. I'm ecstatic that I have this PC to be able to edit and play games on and use from now on. This is a little bit of a change of pace of my uploads. Not really pace, I upload once a month, I try to, but this is a different form of content here, because I don't do much PC stuff anymore. But like I said at the beginning, I'm sure some people are going to enjoy this, and I'm going to get back to the fishing content soon. I have a lot of videos that I want to make in the near future. I got a new desk chair yesterday. This one has armrests. I can adjust the back, and it kind of has like a curve in it for like lumbar support, even though I'm not using it right now. It's a pretty damn nice chair, because I've worn that other one out. I'm going to show you my peripherals real quick before I get off of this video, because I think I said that earlier. My mouse. This is a CM Storm Cooler Master Zornet gaming mouse, I guess it is. It has a 2000 DPI, I believe, 2 extra buttons on the side there, and a ergonomic design for your ring finger there. I love this mouse. I got it back in, I think, 2015 or something. And it's actually a discontinued mouse. So if you look this up, it's actually very hard to find. This is a Razer Cyanosa. It's like a $50 RGB keyboard. Got this as a gift a couple years back. This is a Acer SA23 23-inch 75Hz monitor. 23 diagonal, 21 horizontal. This is an old Dell IN1910 or something like that. It's just a cheap little 18-inch 720p monitor. I can almost guarantee you that there's going to be a couple things that I wish I said while I'm editing this footage, but I'm going to leave it at that. I said my temperatures, I talked about the build, talked about my peripherals, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm very happy I got the PC up and running. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you guys got some enjoyment or learn something from this video, and I will see you in the next one. Deuces.